On a deal to fund DHS as huge security lines paralyze airports. The TSA entering its 6th week without a paycheck as Democrats continue to block a funding deal. President Trump warning them, quote, if the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe against DHS funding hostage.
Well, it is a problem, and I think this is the president trying to come up with a solution. Look, it appears as though he's frustrated, like millions of Americans, particularly those that are traveling through these airports that have 1 to 2, up to 3 hours in wait times. And so he's faced with a dilemma. He can do nothing and allow these lines to grow, or he can figure out a solution. Unfortunately, or I would say the difficult part here is that the entire department is shut down. And so as you move and shift resources, it becomes problematic, not only from a pay standpoint, but you're pulling other people off of their mission to protect the homeland as well. And so unfortunately, the administration doesn't have a lot of good options, but I think this is the president saying, look, I'm just not going to accept the status quo that Democrats, because they don't like immigration enforcement, are punishing the traveling people. And so he's coming up with a solution. It's certainly out of the box, but he's trying to come up with some solutions for the American people.
And not only, I was walking my dog this past week, Chad, and in Washington, I just happened to see a sign in a window that said, smash ICE, no deportations. And it occurred to me that really the Democrats are pandering to a specific faction, a left-wing progressive faction on the immigration front and causing this problem. But they're doing it at the same time that we have this heightened threat environment with the leading state sponsor of terror, Iran. We've seen 4 terrorist-related attacks since March 1st, and yet you would think they would remember that DHS was created in the wake of 9/11, so we would not have another 9/11.
Well, look, I don't think it's a good time anytime to shut down the department, but particularly not a time like this. And as you just said, Griff, when we are become focused on where is their next paycheck coming from, how do they put food on the table? How do they pay that rent or that mortgage? And you don't want them distracted. It's just human nature that you're going to be worried about where that next paycheck is, how you're paying the bills. And I think that's the wrong message to send. And we need our men and women of DHS, all 270,000 of them, focused on their job at hand. Whether you're in the airport or you're a Coast Guard men or women on a national security cutter, or you're doing immigration enforcement and you're vetting folks that come into the country, you want them focused on the mission at hand.
And you raised such a good point, Chad, because the men and women of TSA that remain focused, the ones willing to work without a paycheck, know they can't make a single mistake because the security of the country depends on it. Chad Wolf, thank you for taking time. Great insight, as always.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.